Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all my friend and my beloved lecturer. My name is Muhammad Tajo Amar. Today I want to present about approximate estimating in construction. This is the content that we have in this presentation. Firstly, introduction, then method of approximate estimating, advantage and limitation of approximate estimating, application to a provide project scenario, and lastly, conclusion. Firstly, introduction. Approximate estimating is a method used to predict the overall cost of a construction project based on limited information, usually in the early planning stage. It doesn't rely on detailed design but instead use general factors like floor area and building type. The main purpose of this method is to give stakeholders a quick understanding of whether the project is financially possible. It helps clients check if the budget matches their goals, support design decision, and allows project manager to plan ahead. This early estimate play an important role in avoiding delay and keeping the project on track. Next, method of approximate estimating. The floor area method estimates construction cost by multiplying the total gross floor area of a building by a standard cost rate per square meter. The floor area is calculated from the building external dimension and the number of floors, and the cost rate is derived from historical data or industry average. This method is best applied to buildings with simple and repetitive design, such as residential house, office, and commercial buildings. It is most useful in the early stage of a project when detailed drawings are available and a quick cost estimate is needed. For a building with a gross floor area of 1,200 meters square and a cost rate of 1,500 ringgit per meter square, the estimate construction cost is 1,200 meters square times 1,500 ringgit per meter square equal to 1.8 million. The cubical method estimates the construction cost by calculating the volume of the building length multiplied by width and height, and then multiplying this volume by a standard cost rate per cubic meter. This method considers the building height and is useful when floor height vary or when volume is a better indicator of construction effort than floor area alone. This method is particularly suitable for buildings with varying story height, such as multi-story commercial building, industrial facility, or warehouse. It is used in early project stage when detailed information is limited but volume data is available or easy to measure. For a building measuring 30 meters in length, 20 meters in width, and 10 meters in height, with a cost rate of 150 ringgit per cubic meter, the estimate construction cost is volume equal 30 times 20 times 10 equal 6,000 meter cube. Estimate cost 6,000 meter cube times 150 ringgit per meter cube equal to 900,000 ringgit. The unit method estimates construction cost by calculating the cost per repetitive unit or element in a project and multiplying it by the number of such units. A unit can be anything measurable and repeatable, such as a room, apartment, or a standard section of the building. This method relies on historical cost data per unit and is simple to apply when the project has many similar units. This method is ideal for projects with repetitive structure or space, such as apartment building, hotels, dormitories, or office floor when many identical units exist. It is particularly useful in the early stage for quick cost estimation when the detailed design and quantities are not available. If the cost to build one apartment unit is estimated at 120,000 ringgit and the building contains 20 identical units, The total estimate cost would be 20 unit times 120,000 ringgit per unit, equal to 2.4 million ringgit. The storage enclosure method estimates construction cost by calculating the total external surface area, wall, windows and roof that enclose each story of a building. The method multiplies the surface area by a cost rate per square meter for enclosure work. It focuses on the building envelope rather than just floor area or volume, considering walls and roofing as key cost driver. This method is suitable for multi-story building where the external facade and enclosure material significantly influence the overall cost, such as commercial building, office and apartments. It is useful when the cost of external cladding, insulation and glazing is a major part of the budget. If a building has an external wall surface area of 500 m² per story and there are 4 stories, the total enclosure area is 2000 m². With a cost rate of Rm 300 meter per square for enclosure work, the estimate cost is 2000 m² times 300 ringgit per meter square, equal to 600,000 ringgit. Advantage and limitation of approximate estimating. The floor area method has several advantages, especially during the early stage of a construction project. It is quick and simple to use, requiring only basic information such as building type and total floor area. This makes it very useful for initial budgeting, giving client and planner a rough idea of the overall project cost. However, the method also has limitations. It offers limited accuracy as it does not consider building height, shape, complexity or special design features. It also lacks detail on material and finishes, assuming standard construction throughout. Additionally, because it relies on historical cost data, outdated or incorrect rates can lead to inaccurate estimates. The cubicle method is a more accurate estimating technique compared to the floor area method, as it takes into account the total building volume. This makes it especially suitable for multi-story buildings like school, hospital or factories where height play a major role in construction costs. It also better reflects the cost of enclosing the space, which is useful when wall height significantly impacts the budget. However, this method does have limitations. It requires precise height data and inaccurate assumptions can lead to errors. It also doesn't consider internal details such as finishes, partition or building service. Additionally, it is less effective for buildings with complex shape or split level, which can reduce the accuracy of the estimate. The unit method is a simple and fast estimating technique, especially effective when a project involves a known number of repeated units. It works well for buildings with repetitive layouts such as apartment, hotel, classroom or hospital wards. This method is useful during early planning stage when the project scope is based on unit count. However, it has limitations. It is only suitable for uniform design and may not be accurate for projects with varied or custom-built space. It also assumes all units are identical in size, quality, and finishes, which can lead to inaccuracies. Additionally, the reliability of the estimate depends heavily on having an up-to-date and accurate unit cost rate. The story enclosure method estimates cost by focusing on the building's external envelope, including walls, windows, and the roof. This approach is especially accurate for high-rise buildings where the external enclosure significantly affects the total cost. It also reflects the cost of facades and finishing materials such as cladding and glazing. However, the method involves complex calculations requiring precise measurements, of external surface, which can be time consuming. It does not account for internal work like finishes, partition or service. Additionally, it is less commonly used than floor area or volume method, so there may be limited standard cost data available. Application to a provide project scenario. Project title: cadangan membina dan menyiapkan satu unit rumah kediaman batu satu tingkat. Location at lot 19176 Buntung Limbat, Kota Baru, Kelantan. Most suitable method: floor area method. Rate per square foot is applied. This method estimates the total project cost by multiplying the total build-up rate by an average unit cost per square foot. Assuming an average construction rate of Rm 150 ringgit per square feet, the estimate cost is calculated as 1,336 square feet times to 150 ringgit equal to 200,400. Why using this method? Firstly, quick and easy to apply. The total build-up area is already calculated and only need to multiply by an average cost only. Secondly, suitable for early design stage. The floor area method allows us to quickly estimate cost based on the total area which is clearly provided. Lastly, useful for budgeting and decision making. The floor area method provides a reliable cost range and helping guide design decision without needing full technical drawing. Several key factors can affect the reliability of a construction cost estimate. Location plays a major role, as costs vary depending on whether the project is in a rural or urban area. For example, while labor may be cheaper in places like Kelantan, transporting material to remote site can increase overall expenses. Additionally, the distance from supplier and availability of skilled labor can impact final cost. Inflation also influences estimate reliability, as the price of materials such as steel or cement often rise over time. Delays in project start can lead to a 5 to 15% increase in cost due to market inflation, and broader economic trend may make early estimate less dependable. Lastly, material cost and availability affect estimates. Assumptions are typically based on standard material, but using premium or substitute material due to shortage can raise costs, while bulk, discount or local sourcing might reduce costs. These are not always predictable during the early planning stage. Two additional factors that can affect the reliability of construction estimate are site condition and project complexity. Site conditions such as slope or uneven ground, soft soil or limited access for machinery are often not fully accounted for in early estimates. This challenge can require special foundation or equipment, significantly increasing the final cost. Project complexity also play a role. Design features like heat roof, multiple windows, verandas and detailed elevation add to material needs, labor time and overall difficulty. When using simplified estimating method like the floor area method, applying them to complex design can lead to serious underestimate of cost. In conclusion, the floor area method was used to estimate the construction cost of the proposed house based on the architectural drawing. This method is suitable at the early stage because it is quick and only needs basic information. However, the estimate may not be fully accurate due to factors like project location, inflation, material price, site condition, and design complexity. To improve the accuracy of early cost estimate, it is recommended to use a range of unit rates, update cost data regularly, and consider basic site assessment early on. Adjustments should also be made for unique design feature and local condition, including a small allowance for inflation and unexpected costs can make the estimate more reliable.